Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Mardiatun and I'm from 5Ti-2 and I will explain about the basic concept and properties of syntax and also the example of the grammatical and then even the tree diagrams that I will show you in this presentation. So the first thing is the basic concept and properties of syntax. So what is syntax? So, syntax is the study of how words are arranged and combined in a specific order to form a meaningful phrases, clauses, or sentences in a language. It actually focuses on the rules and patterns that guide sentence structure and explain how different parts of speech work together to create meaning. For example, in English, we usually like follow the subject verb object order, as in uh, the student reads a book. So syntax helps us understand like why some sentences are correct and why the other is not. And for example, like she is reading is correct, while is reading she is not correct. It's not a correct sentence. So we would analyze why this happened. And then actually in syntax, we also know that there is no relationship actually between sounds and meaning in language because it is arbitrary. Arbitrary, it means that it's like it's there is no like specific or um, dictate rule for how the sound of the words could correlates to the meaning of it. So there is no relationship between them, which is it shows that, for example, when someone say women, we are apparently thinking about the female human. There is no connection with how the word woman itself is pronounced or written. It is just already shaped in our mind to appear that the word or the sounds women is a female human. And yeah, that is how syntax, also known as its finite set of rules that construct infinite numbers of order or sentences. It shows how a limited number of grammatical rules and words can be used to create countless expressions and ideas in the way we speak or the way we communicate itself. And then the properties of syntax that I will explain to you, there are three properties, which is um, the hierarchy. Hierarchy means that sentences are built in layers or levels rather than as a flat line of words. In other words, words are grouped together into meaningful units called constituents. For example, in the sentence, the tall boy kicked the ball. The words the tall boy form a single unit known as a noun phrase that functions as the subject of the sentence. Meanwhile, kick the ball forms a verb phrase that express the action. Each of these phrases can also be broken down into the smaller parts, so such as the determiner, the adjective, and the noun, which is the boy itself. This shows that sentences are not just strings of words but organized structures made up of smaller parts that work together. And then the second properties is the recursion, shows the creative power of language. Recursion refers to the ability to include one sentence or phrase inside another repeatedly, making language capable of expressing infinite ideas. Because, like what I said, syntax is the finite rules with that construct infinite numbers of um, sentences or yeah, sentences. And then recursion, for example, in the sentence, the teacher said that the students believe that the answer was correct. One clause is placed inside another. In theory, this process could continue forever. Like, for example, there is the additional, the principal heard that the teacher said that the student believed that the answer was correct. So there is the additional, the principal, and you could also add another phrases and another phrases and another phrases and so on and so on. This shows that syntax is really finite yet infinite one. Unlike the the animal communication, for example, which is usually repetitive and limited, human beings can like recursion to express complex ideas, emotions, and relationships because yeah, human is complex. And then the third property is the structure dependence. Means that the grammatical rules of language depends on the structure of a sentence, not just the order of the words itself. In other words, syntax work based on the relationship between elements rather than on a simple left to right sequence. For example, if we take the sentence the boy is hungry and turn it into a question, we move the auxiliary verb, which is the is, to the front, which is it would be from the boy is hungry to the is the boy hungry. We do not move other words like boy or hungry because the rule applies specifically to the structure of the clause itself, not the word order itself. So yeah, those properties show that how complex and how infinite syntax are because it's actually have the finite rules, but it have the infinite construct of how it constructing the sentences, the clause, and even the phrase itself. And then yeah, let's go um, to the lexical categories, which is I gave you the one example of sentence, which is here. And yeah, we could see that the lexical categories lies on how each words have each classes, and it also we also could categorize all of them into its class. So yeah, and then also we have the grammatical categories. It differs with the word categories or lexical categories, which is lexical categories only relies on the class of words that they going to, and in grammatical categories it relies on whether it is like singular, plural, or the gender, the age, or yeah, that is how we see the grammatical categories itself, like the example here. And then there is also the phrases and constituents, which is I've already break down in my paper, and the constituent and phrases that I've already break down in it are really long actually. And yeah, the last one is the tree diagrams, which is we could see here. This is the first sentence, which is the sentence of this paper also provides some keys of how to make good classroom atmosphere. So this is the sentence, and then we could separate it into noun phrase and verb phrase, and then the noun phrase going down into the determiner noun and etc etc, and then verb phrase going down into the adverbial phrase, and then verb, and then going down into the word itself. And then yeah, actually when I analyze this, the most difficult things or the most challenges that I found is how I should make the three diagrams and then analyze um, the uh, what is it? The movement, subordinating, coordinate, the substitution test, and then the constituency test. That is also like really hard for me actually. It's the challenges that I found in this. But anyway, yeah, that is all from me. Thank you very much. Hope this would be understandable for the one that watching this right now. And then thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.